All right, so I'm going to show you guys how to do a ceiling repair line item estimate. So essentially, I just created a room in the sketch area, and it's a pretty simple room, 40 by 35. That way, I can have all the dimensions and all the measurements that I need from the room itself. Um, then we go here, send this over here, and bring that over here. So let me go right. So what is this showing is that there's 15 line items here. They're not organized. Subtotal, and in the room. We'll slide over. Now we're gonna prep for painting. Is the first thing that we're gonna do. I left this unlike these that's bold underlined because I want to show you guys how to do it. You will right click, then you go to edit line options right here, click bold, then turn bold, edit line options, underline, it underlines. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put the floor protection. So this is like a heavy duty floor protection right there. If you go here and click this drop down, you can see some of the other floor protections that they have. Like we could use skid resistant, leak proof, cleanable floor protection. We could do cloth. This is a cheaper one, or you could just use a plastic film. This is what most insurance companies will go for. Most contractors try to use the more expensive one to make more money, but any of these will work for painting. And then we're going to use the mask tape, and what we're going to do for the calculation is PF for perimeter floor. So you want to tape the perimeter of the floor. Now if you go to calculations right here, you'll see all the calculations. So we could have gone ceiling and gone floor right there, perimeter floor, see the shortest wall and ceiling, length in feet or a long wall, perimeter of the ceiling. So since we're doing the ceiling, not the floor, then we should be using PC, but it's going to give you the same measurement. Anyways, it's really not going to change anything. See, it's still 147 because the perimeter of the floor and perimeter of the ceiling is exactly the same for this room. Next, we're going to go to the drywall. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to tear out the drywall, clean bag. So that's what we're doing, tearing out the wet drywall, clean it up, then bag it. Then we use a drywall patch line. This is important if the damage, like let's say there's a stain and it's in the corner and it's touching the wall, that's when you want to use this line to give it more reinforcement along where there's damage. So right here with the 32, the reason why this is 32 is because most drywall are 4 by 8 feet long. So if you go 4 by 8 feet, it will give you 32, right? Which also is the reason why this is 8, because I'm just imagining that the stain is close to the wall or on the wall, so you want to use 8 feet, or you can use 4 feet, just depending on how long that stain is. Now we're going to put the other drywall in. We're going to hang it, we're going to tape it, we're going to get it ready for texture. So the important thing is you have to go understand how thick the drywall is, but this is really good. This you can still use this, is just a standard one, the 5 by 8, 5/8, and then you want to add it. So that's that right there. Also, we need to tear out the wet installation and put the new installation in. So that's what this is showing. You can also organize it by like this. We put both tear outs together. So tear out the drywall, tear out that, and then you can have put the drywall ceiling in, then we put the installation in, or you can put the installation in first, drywall ceiling over it, then the tape. So that would be perfectly fine way to organize it if you want to organize it this way as well. Then you're going to work on the texture. Let's go ahead and bold it, and then underline it. So these are the three main textures. We got acoustic ceiling, which is your popcorn ceiling. Then you got the smooth. Then you got the heavy hand. The heavy hand encompasses pretty much a lot of textures like the knock down and the orange peel and all that kind of stuff. But you don't really need to know all that. You just need to know what the heavy hand looks like, the smooth, and the popcorn. So let me show you guys a video real quick. So this is drywall installation. So let's go back here, restart right here. So what she's doing, the drywall is already up. You see the nails in the drywall. Now she's putting the mud in, and she's putting that tape on there as well, and she's gonna smooth it down onto the mud. Okay, and then you go back over the tape with the mud, right? So let's pause that real quick and go back here. In this line item for the drywall hung taped and ready, you click right here. It says the materials that's included is the drywall, metal corner beads, the joint compound, which is that mud, see mud, drywall nails, the joint tape, which is the tape that you saw her put, the gravity school, and then installation and labor. Okay, so that video pretty much demonstrates everything that's going on in this line item. Okay, let's go back to Google real quick. So drywall smooth, this is really just it's just the drywall tape, the joint, the mud on the wall, but it's a really smooth, clean finish. So if you see a house that's made of drywall and then it's just really, really smooth, then that's what that line item is showing. Now drywall popcorn ceiling or acoustic ceiling, this is what it looks like. So if you ever see these little things right here that look like small little popcorns on your ceilings in your home, then that's what this is referring to. Oh, this is a good photo as well. See, this is the damage in the ceiling with the hole, and then he has a tool to keep the wall up. Now as I was saying, if the damage is to the wall right here in the back, if this thing was back here, then that's where you will use the joint tape. And then heavy hand texture, these are these little designs that you see on your wall. It's just people putting that compound on it, but they're not really smoothing it out. It's just it doesn't really have a grand use from my understanding. It's just it's kind of a artistic design. So we got orange peel, that kind of sign, knockdown, lace. These are the type of design popcorn, right? But as long as you use heavy, then this will cover all that. Okay. Now let's go back here. Now after you put the texture in, so you just want to delete one of these and just delete it so you can have whichever one that you want for texture. I'm going to keep that. And then you want to go ahead and paint the ceiling, but you want to also seal it with fungicide, bacterial inhibitors, because if there's water that comes on the ceiling, it could cause molding, all that kind of stuff. So you want to put the fungicide and the bacterial inhibitor, and then you want to paint it. Some insurance companies only want you to use one coat of paint if it's white, but if it's a different color, or especially a darker color, then they want you to use 2 coats of paint. But public adjusters, they want as much money as they can, so 2 coats of paint, contractors as well. Now if you look right here, the reason why we have these fixtures here is because you go here, and right in this description it says painters frequently remove and reset switches, outlet cover plates, drops, and reset simple light fixtures and move items away from walls to make painting easier. A reasonable amount of this kind of prep work is included in this line item. In this situation where detaching and resetting light fixtures is warranted because of size, situation, or a trade license contractor being needed for this activity, this assumption would not normally be included and may need to be accounted for separately. So if you have like a large light, like a light item like this that's damaged, and you want to replace it or remove it, then you need to add that. Ceiling fans, there are good things, extra features if there's any in the room that might need to be, especially if the damage is close to it and that panel needs to come down, then you might want to detach and reset. Recessed lights as well. So anything that you see on the ceiling that needs to be detached and reset, or move and replace, or whatever, you can do that. So detach and reset, remove and replace, that's where you put it in the fixtures. This allows for a minimal amount of things on the ceiling, but if they need some heavy duty stuff, then you want to use one of these. And that's pretty much it for repairing the ceiling. We'll go over repairing the wall, which is pretty much exactly the same, just a few little differences than this. And again, if you want to save this as a macro, you just highlight, align, control all, global, not global, save as macro. Then I'll put this as ceiling view on description. Put any description that you like, but because I have so many macros, as you guys seen in the previous videos from other companies, then I just want to put the ones that I edited under my own name. So we have it like that. And let me show you guys again. See, ceiling new Ramon is right there. So anytime I need to do another one of these, it's ready to go. All right, guys. See you in the next video.